Hi class, welcome back to Open Minds at Creative Alliance with Miss Jasmine. Hope you guys are doing amazing today. So for today's lesson, we're going to be doing paper plate flowers, okay? So we're just going to jump right into the project. So you're going to need a paper plate, and I believe we gave you multiple paper plates, about 6 or 7, so we're going to need all of them. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this, okay? So you can do it we're gonna do a simple way first, and then we're gonna make another one where it's like 2 layers, okay? So let's just jump right into it. So you're gonna need your paper plate, scissors, okay? A palette for your paint, okay, because we're gonna be painting them. You're gonna need your acrylic paint, or your watercolor paint, or even your colored pencils, okay? Whatever you want to use to paint, color in your flower, okay? You can also get popsicle sticks if you want from the dollar store. If you want to create, because we're going to make a stem, all right? So let's see here, sorry. So that's going to be the stem of the flower. You can use a popsicle stick, or you can just use construction paper, okay? We also gave you guys construction paper. You can use that as well, okay? Have that nearby if you want to cut that out and make your own. You can use tape if you want as well. We have our water to clean our brushes and our paint brushes, okay? We have our round brush here. Flat brush. Flat brushes, you can see the strokes when you paint with this, okay? A flat brush is just flat and square, all right? We also have our round watercolor brush. It's round and it's thin, right? And I also have my foam brush. You can get these from the dollar store if you want, okay? Or Michael's, wherever you want. You guys are welcome to sketch your ideas in your sketchbook first if you would like. I always encourage artists to sketch first before they start creating. It just gets the ideas flowing and it makes it easier and you know what you're gonna do. I'm not going to do that right now for this project. I'm just going to freestyle it and jump in, but I would love to see you guys' sketches if you do sketch something, okay? So let's just get started. So I'm going to start by just painting my flower orange. We're going to paint this orange, and then we're going to cut the petals into the shape of a flower, okay? So you guys know how flowers look. They have curves, okay? So we're gonna paint it first and then cut it, all right? So let's just do that. Or if you want, you can cut it first and then paint it. I'm gonna do it the other way around, all right? So let's just jump into it. I'm just gonna start painting my whole plate orange. And you don't, like I said, you don't always have to do exactly what I do. I'm just here to guide you and give you ideas for fun projects to do, okay? During the spring and the summer too. We have 2 more projects after this. We're gonna be doing tie-dye shirts. I'm gonna teach you how to do that. And we're also gonna do sculptures, okay, with our air dry clay. So we're going to be making you can make a butterfly or you can make a bird for your sculpture, okay? So, I'm sorry this may be a little boring here, but I'm just trying to make sure you cover the entire plate when you're painting. Okay. And I always tell you guys, get creative. If you don't want to just use paint, use other materials. That, like I told you, we have beads here, cotton balls. Add to your flower. Make it look cool. Make it look 3D. I have my cotton balls here and my beads, as you can see. I'm going to glue beads into the center of my flower. And make sure you save these materials for our next projects, because we're going to be adding some of these to the sculpture. It's going to get messy as usual, so make sure you have a napkin or multiple napkins near you, or even a cloth or something. I'm running out of orange paint. Here we go. And I'm gonna let this dry, okay? Make sure you cover the entire plate. You can also paint the back of the plate if you want. I'm just gonna paint the front, but I think it would be cool if you guys paint the front and back. All right, and mine is fully covered. Now these paper plates are pretty thin, so you don't wanna get too much water on them. They soak up a lot of the paint, okay? And let that dry, okay? So we colored the entire plate, okay? Now we're gonna color the center of the plate, all right? And choose whatever color you want. I chose orange. I think I'm gonna do red for my center, okay? I have to let it dry first. The reason I wanna let this dry is, remember I told you before, you don't want it to blend into the orange. So I want it to dry so it won't make a muddy brown, okay? If it's still wet, it's gonna create a different color if I mix the orange and the red. So I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna paint the red over top of it. The red of course it won't be as vibrant because you are painting over top of two colors on top of each other, but it won't be muddy either. So let this dry for a second, okay? Make sure you clean your brush off, or I'm just gonna grab another paintbrush, okay? Guys, please make sure you clean your brushes so you can use them again. Foam brushes are a little different, but I'm just gonna stick this in here, let that soak. And you can wave the plate if you want, make it dry quicker. All right, and I think the center is dry. My edges are still a little wet, but I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my red, okay, and paint. Go ahead and start painting the middle of my plate. Follow the circle in the middle of your plate, okay? So I'm literally painting the center of my plate. The circle is already there for you. You just gotta follow it. Okay. And this one you're probably gonna have to add probably 2 or 3 layers of paint. Just because this paint can be thin. Need some more red. So I'm just going around and just painting it. Okay. Like I said, you guys can look up pictures of flowers and use that as help while you're making yours. Okay. You can make a sunflower or a jasmine flower, like I said. And you can make a bunch of these if you want. I always encourage you guys to make multiples of these. And I think I'm done my center here. And the reason I painted mine first is because it was easier for me to paint the edges. okay? I just went around and just painted it. If I would have cut it, probably would have took me a little longer to paint the edges of the flower. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and start cutting the shape of my flower out, okay? And you can make yours however you want. You can make it square, you can make it a rounded square, or you can just make them round. Or you can just cut slits. You can just follow the lines on the plate and cut slits for your flower, okay? I'm gonna put this right here. So then we're gonna let this dry, just fan it so it can dry quicker, okay? And then just start cutting your shape, whatever you want the edge of your flower to look like. I'm going to do, let's see here. I'm going to do rounded ones. So the quickest way to do rounded ones, okay, is to create triangles, little triangles, okay? Just cut it out. See? I cut a triangle into the edge. That's all you gotta do. Just go around the whole plate and do that, okay? Triangle and just go around the whole plate. Cut triangle. So I went boom, went down with the scissor and went up, cut a triangle, and then I'm gonna go around the whole edge of the plate and do that, okay? I'm gonna space mine out a little bit just for time. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine's gonna be a little, I would say, probably rounded squares. But you can go around and just clean it up, okay? Just keep going around. Alright, I'm almost there. See? There we go. Okay. And I'm done. So mine's are a little more rounded square than I said, sorry. And there's your flower, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and glue my stem. I'm going to get a popsicle stick and I'm gonna paint my popsicle stick green, okay? If you want, you can cut out a circle, an oval or a square piece of construction paper and glue yours to your plate if you want to do it that way and paint it green or use some green construction paper. I'm going to use just a popsicle stick and paint mine green. So let's grab my green here. Okay. I'm going to get another paintbrush. I'm going to soak this one. Grab another paintbrush here. I just don't want my colors mixing, so I'm just gonna get a whole new one because it can get muddy. If you don't clean your brush and you start mixing a whole bunch of colors, it turns into brown. So if you ever want to know how to make brown, you just mix a whole bunch of colors together. So keep painting this. And you're gonna paint both sides of your popsicle stick, okay? And your hands are gonna get messy because you gotta touch both ends of it. Almost there. Alright, and I'm gonna sit this down. You can put this on a napkin, I don't know why. I'm gonna sit this right here and I'm gonna sit it to the side and let it dry. Okay. I'm gonna wipe my hands off. So here's my stem, okay? We're gonna glue, once this dries, we're gonna glue it to the paper plate. While that's drying, okay, you can go in and add detail if you want, or you can even paint the middle another color. I'm going to paint mine yellow. I'm gonna add a little circle, a little yellow circle in the middle, okay? The more you add, the cooler it looks. Let's see here. I'm gonna grab my flat brush, clean it off really good, and then go in with my yellow. Okay? You're gonna have to probably add a whole bunch of layers because when you paint a light color of acrylic, like with this type of paint, this paint's kind of thin. When you paint this thin, bright color on top of a dark acrylic, it's gonna, the yellow's gonna seep, I'm sorry, the red is gonna seep through, okay? The dark color's gonna seep through. So you're gonna be able to see the red underneath the yellow. So you're probably gonna have to do a couple of layers of the yellow if you put a light color on top of a dark one, okay? And just take your time. My circle is not perfect. Grab some more yellow here. So that's our first layer. You see, the red is kind of showing underneath of the yellow, so I'm gonna have to add some more yellow on top of there. Okay. And after each time you paint the yellow, let it dry and then add another layer, okay? Because if you keep painting wet on top of wet, it's just gonna keep moving the paint around. So you have to let the first layer dry. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. And here you can also start adding your beads if you want. So I'm gonna put beads around the circle in the middle, okay? And you can use Elmer's glue or hot, like I said, if you're using a hot glue gun, please ask your parents to help you, all right? You can also start drawing details with your colored pencils if you want. You can add some dots in here, some details of the flower, some shading. Or like I said, you can also use the watercolor, okay? If you don't want to use the acrylic paint. You have all these options to create a cool paper plate flower. I'm gonna go ahead and glue my, I'm gonna start gluing my beads to my plate. So here's what I have so far, okay? So I'm gonna be really careful with this. I really recommend you guys, I'm using hot glue because it's right here next to me and I can't find my Elmer's glue. You guys should definitely use your Elmer's glue, okay? So do that here. And if you're using hot glue, you have to hold it down just for a second. Well, you have to do that with all the glue actually. Hold it down for a second and let it dry. Okay. Get some more here. And you can also just put it on the plate and do it. That's what I'm gonna do. There's one. And like I said, you don't have to follow what I'm doing. You can do what you want, okay? I'm just gonna put, for time purposes, I'm gonna put like 4 beads on here, okay? I'm putting my glue on my plate first and then pressing the bead down, okay? And you gotta be quick or else the glue is gonna dry. I'm just freestyling this. I have no plan. If you have your sketch, follow your sketch in your sketchbook, okay? But I'm just freestyling this. All right, I'm done mine. If you want to fill it in more, you can, but I'm not gonna fill mine all the way in with beads. If you guys want to get more beads and fill yours all the way in, you can. So here's mine, okay. I just put it around the center, okay. I think it would be cooler if you guys filled up the whole circle with beads. I think that would be great. All right. And now, I think my stem is dry. My stem is dry. So I'm gonna glue this to the back of my flower, okay? See? And then we're gonna add some leaves and be done. Let's see here. All right, so flip this over. You just want to take the stem and just glue it to the back of the plate. And I'm gonna put this. Make sure you press it onto get some of it onto the circular part of it. Okay, hold it a little bit, grab the stem, and then grab the plate and press it together. So I'm pressing the bottom and the top part, okay? So I'm pressing the stem up against the plate so it'll hold. So you have to hold it for a little bit so it will stick, all right? You don't want it to come off. Right, and there we go. There's our flower stem, okay? And now I'm gonna cut out some construction paper to make some leaves. So leaves are what? They're pretty much circular triangles, okay? Or we can say pointed ovals. So you can draw it first, okay? Or you can just cut it out. I'm just gonna cut mine out. If it's easier for you to draw it, then do that. You guys know how stems should look, so. I'm sorry, leaves look. Here's one, okay. And there's two. Right? They don't have to be perfect. If you want them to be perfect, you can, but mine are just, they're not perfectly the same. Okay, then I'm going to take this, I'm going to, you can either paint it first, paint them green first, or whatever color you want, or you can just glue them and then paint them. It's up to you. It really doesn't matter, okay? I'm going to glue mine to my stem and then paint them. So, okay. And you want to paint them and you want to glue them. So I have my stem here. You want to put this on the back of the stem, okay? Just like that. And you can put it wherever you want. I'm going to put mine a little bit lower underneath the plate, okay? Flip it around, right? All right. And you can, they don't have to be even either. And make sure you hold it like I told you. Hold it down so it sticks. If you have hot glue, it's going to be hot, so please be careful. Use gloves if you need to. There's going to be a little bit of strands of glue, so you just want to pull that off if you have hot glue. But I would really like for you guys just to use Elmer's glue instead. And here's our flower so far. Okay. And I'm going to finish off by painting this green. All right. So, I'm going to get my green. I lost my brush. Oh, I put my brush in the water. Whoops. I'm just going to wipe my brush off again and then paint it green. Please make sure you clean your brush completely. Because you don't want what? You don't want a muddy or brown color for this. And you can go ahead and when you're done painting the stem, you can add some detail like the veins and the leaf if you want. The veins are the little lines in the leaf. The little black lines. So here we go. It's almost done. I want you guys to add more than I'm adding. Okay. Get creative. You guys can also look up, if you like, paper plate flowers and get some ideas if you want, beyond what I'm doing, okay? You can paint the front and the back, or you can just paint the front. It's up to you. All right, almost done here. And there we go. I'm gonna leave mine, the back of mine just white right now, but there's my flower, okay? Paper plate flower. This is a cool, fun project. You can do it with your family, okay? And yours doesn't have to be round, like I said. You can make them, well, mine are square. You can make them rounder than mine if you want. Make the edges round, make them a triangle, like a sunflower, whatever you want to do, okay? And put your name on the back of your flowers. All right. If you want to also, just show you another quick method. Well, idea. You can cut out the circle from the middle of the plate. So you see there's going to be a circle in the middle of your plate, okay? You can cut that out, okay? If you want to make it a little more 3D, cut that out and glue it on top of the middle of your plate, okay? And then it can like have a flap, and you can you can keep adding layers to it if you want, all right? And you can paint this, so it'll be like a 3D flower, okay? You can do it that way as well, okay? But I'm gonna leave mine like this for today, let this dry. You can make a couple of these. So when you're done, take a picture, send it to me, okay? Take a picture with you holding it up, okay? And just make it colorful, make it real pretty and colorful, creative. I want to see what you guys come up with, okay, for this project, and I will see you next class. Bye.